Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Well, happy Tuesday. Today we say goodbye to March and hello to April Fools. What? Tomorrow? Yep. Come on in. We've got a few stories to go over this morning. Let's chat.
Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
Hello,
Enjoy
baby.
your stay and enjoy your day.
Somebody needs to get this microphone away from Betty. Oh my goodness. Good morning to all my beautiful because we just realized the first quarter of 2026 is over, baby. Today's it. Like, I'm freaking out here. I'm like, how the hell do we slow down time? You know, when we're kids, we feel like, tick-tock. And then there's somewhere when you start getting middle age that you just can't, it's like you're holding on for dear life. It's like the time's just flying by. Guys, we're already through the first quarter of 2026. We're already a quarter through the year, folks. We're already a quarter through the year. I don't know what to do with myself. I just don't know what to do with myself. That's why we have a Delilah. She's not in the office today. She's like, Mama's too crazy. Actually, she woke me up. I had to go to the bathroom, and she did one of the things where she was ready to get up, right? I had to go to the bathroom. I was planning on going back to sleep, and next thing you know, I get French kissed like 1,000 gajillion times by a freaking cute little dog. I'm sorry, it's not the first thing you want to wake up to. I love kisses from a dog, but, you know, when you're trying to go back to sleep, you know, you're not really trying to get, you know, a tongue halfway down your throat because you're yawning. And she always waits until I yawn. And it's like, you know? Anyways, guys, it's nice to see you. I know that we are all the early birds that get the worm in the morning. We are the early birds that get the worm. Coffee Club, it's nice to see you. Blessed Happy Nana, givers and takers, it's nice to see you, my love. Amber is up in the house. Melanie, it's nice to see you. Rose, and we are doing fine. Thank you. She said, I want to thank you, BHB, for singing to me yesterday in the chat. Thanks for all the birthday wishes yesterday. Oh, it's my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. It's absolutely wonderful. If anybody doesn't know, I got to meet Melanie personally in PA when I was there covering Caitlin Harp's case. Typically, if you guys are used to me being behind the screen, you guys are new to the channel, okay? I'm far from ever being a screen person, an office person. I'm usually out in the field. These last few years, we haven't been able to get out as much. We've got some legal expenses we're getting through. Once our legal expenses get through, well, it's all over, but the crime, we're going to be all over the country. So I'm kind of getting excited for where we're going to go, where we're going to take the channel in the near future. ER Blues, it's nice to see you. Michelle, Momo up in the house. Jekyll and Hyde, good morning. Jira, I feel like I'm not saying her name right. Hiro? Is it an H? Is it supposed to be H? I'm sorry, Tanaka. We're going to call you Tanaka because that's easier for me to say. Phil, it's nice to see you. YouTuber Jewel, it's nice to see you. Good morning, loves. Good morning. Aletha up in the chat this morning. It's nice to see you. Trust the process. Michelle, good morning. Nanny, Chicky, it's nice to see you. Donna, good morning. It's nice to see you as well. Rue, good morning. Kathy, Arizona, you're up awfully early. We got some insomniacs. Our baby loves up in the chat. We can now get to work. No, I'm just joking, Faye. Good morning, Patricia. Hello. Safi Reyes. Hopefully I'm pronunciating your name right. If I mess your name up, just send me a message on how to pronunciate it right. I don't like messing up people's names, but I do it often, so I apologize in advance. Downey, it's nice to see you. I have a Chihuahua now. Oh, good gracious. You got your neighbor moved back. Thank God they left this little noisy nut. Oh, the pervert neighbors moved and they left their noisy nut. Okay, gotcha. I gotta tell you, I didn't know. You for people that haven't had a Chihuahua, you know, you look at a Chihuahua and you see them like, you know, little ankle biters, you know, so you don't really think of. But I gotta tell you, being an owner of a Chihuahua, holy smokes, they are the sweetest damn dogs. They are the most lovable pets. They're just very loyal to one owner. Like they're not a multi-owner type of dog. And even when you are in a house with multi-owners, they favor one. They favor one. They're very, very loyal. So I love my little Delilah. She's just a sweet pea, you know. I don't know what I'd do without her. I feel like she saved me, you know. I don't know. Anyways, Goya, it's nice to see you. Oh, Grave Crime with Grace is up awfully early this morning. Pamela, Riley, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I got a Chihuahua and a Dachshund. Oh, the Dachshunds. Those are cute. My friend, not my friend, my best friend's daughter has a Dachshund. And I got to tell you, I can never tell if it's laying on the floor or it's walking. I'm like, what the hell is the dog doing? Is it laying down or is it standing up? It's a long hair, so you can't really see the feet. I got them for my daughter, and they turned out to be me. They are. They are. I have to admit, they are. It's just amazing. Shannon, it's nice to see you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to be doing something a little different. I do have an entire show. I got a Morkie and oh wow, that's a Morkie and a Mastiff. So you got a small and a big dog. Wow, I love Mastiffs. I love animals. Like I'm an animal lover. Animals love me too. Okay, I mean animals do. I don't know what it is about me, but animals love me. Even people that have the most difficult animals, most of the time I can break them down and they end up being my friend. Chronicles of Olivia's dog is not a very nice dog. It's nice. Her dogs, I call him Demon Dog. And the dog's nice to her, but not really anybody else, right? And so he tried to take my hand off and I showed him. I sat right next to him and ate bacon for a freaking half hour. And then when he was ready to have a piece of bacon, I started feeding him little pieces of bacon. Next thing you know, guess who's his next best friend? Don't tell me I don't know how to be friends with animals. I've been raising animals my entire life. I know how to make a mean dog love me. Because I'm not scared of them. You can bite my hand, you can make me bleed, doesn't matter. You only get one shot at it. I'm gonna sit here and eat bacon in front of you. Just gonna do it. They hate that. But you know what? If you want to make a dog your friend, that's the best. That's the easiest way to do it. Just don't try to get their attention. Just sit right on next to them and just make sure your bacon is like really, really bacony smelly. And you just sit there and just eat a little piece at a time. Oh my gosh. I can get it. Oh, this is so good. Stella, I'm like, gonna start running in here. She's gonna be like, hey, wait a minute. What are you eating? What do you got, Mama? Letha, thank you. All right, let me get to the cards. Real quick. So we got two people right now for the cards. We have spiritual cards today. So the spiritual cards are going to be this box, which I've grown to really like this box here. We've got religious this is from New King James Version. Little spiritual cards. We're only doing spiritual stuff today. So we've got cards for spiritual. We have funky monkey stuff coming up. So we got Bloom. These are encouragement cards. And then we've got the hope and happiness. So we got 4 decks of cards here. So if you guys, I know that, Letha, do you have a preference on which cards you would like to do? Whether you want the Bloom, hope and happiness. We got religious, and then I don't even know what to call these. I guess spiritual affirmations, maybe, something like that. But we got these cards. So I'm going to do the spiritual affirmations because I know that Melanie never picks. So I just pick for her anyways. So I'm just used to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Put these back. And then you just need, Letha, to tell me what deck you want your cards from. So, and you can do the same deck. I like these we haven't even barely scratched. There's a lot of deck cards in here. But I like these. But I figured spiritual would be our theme for today. Spiritual. And it says, all the art of the living lies in a fine mingling of letting go and holding in. All the art of the living lies in a fine mingling of letting go and holding in. Interesting. Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it to themselves. Oh. Interesting. I didn't quite get that, but hey, that is what it is. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So put positive affirmations in and then do what you need to do. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Ooh, I like that. Life isn't about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. You know how so many people say, I need to go find myself. Find your inner peace. Find this, find this. Create it! Create it! What a novel idea. Create it. Love it, love it. Everything is something you decide to do. I want to repeat that. Everything is something you decide to do, and there is nothing you have to do. Every accomplishment begins with a decision to try. Oh, these are great for everyone. That's what I say. I like these cards. These cards are pretty interesting. Life brings simple pleasures to us every day. It is up to us to make them wonderful memories. Ooh, I like that one too. Our greatest glory is not never failing, but in rising every time we fall. Ooh, I like that too. So it's not about never falling. It's about basically getting up and trying again. I love that. Life is not merely to be alive, but to be well. Achievement is not only about what you've done, but what you've gained from your experiences. Ooh, I'm telling you, I love these. I love these. These are great. Great cards. Good cards. Good cards. Love it. Love it. Love it. So let me go down here and see if Aletha has told me what card she wants. Hope and happiness, she says. Hope and happiness. Let's see what you get. What is in your future? Actually, these are really for everybody. That's what I like about them. Everybody can get a little something out of all the cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ooh. Let's do these back in. Let's see what we've got here. Hope and let's not put the tops back on. We're going to put it back in here. One night the Lord spoke to Paul in a vision. Do not be afraid. Keep on speaking. Do not be silent. Acts 18:9. We cannot be silent. That's one thing about the coffee club. We're not silent. We are not afraid to speak. That's for sure. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. John 10:10. I don't understand that. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. Somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. That I understand what it's saying, but it doesn't make sense in my brain. The servant can serve two masters. No servant can serve two masters. Either he will hate one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Ooh. Interesting. You cannot serve both God and money. Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that they may be healed. The prayer of the righteous man is powerful and effective. And we need to remember that because we have a family that is struggling immensely. We have a few of them, but one that comes to mind right now is Mr. and Mrs. E, and how powerful prayer is. The prayer of righteous man is powerful and effective, and we need to lift our voices in prayer. Do not let the book of laws depart from your mouth. Meditate on it day and night so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Joshua 1:8. So do not let the book of laws depart from your mouth. You need to follow the laws. You need to meditate day and night so that you may be careful. You may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Joshua 1:8. Thank you. That was beautiful. I love those. I love these hope and happiness. Some of the stuff I don't quite understand, but maybe we need to start looking it up and looking in the Bible when we don't understand it. That's probably needs to be the next step so we understand what they're saying. Because there was one that I didn't understand, and maybe it was just the way it was written, because some of that stuff is written the way they used to speak. We don't speak like that anymore, not much anymore. Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to bend your ear. First, we're going to be talking. Let me just give you guys a breakdown on how the show is going. Hey, good morning, Timothy. It's nice to see you. Melissa, good morning. It's nice to have you. A few things that we are going to do this morning is we're going to talk about a new case. And it's a case about Caleb, what was his name? Caleb Flynn and his wife, Ashley. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Caleb Flynn and Ashley. This is a pastor and an American Idol prospect that turned into a murderer and murdered his wife and thought he would be able to get away with it. And the story he came up with, was a little off-putting to begin with because it was in the middle of the night and basically said a masked gunman came in and shot his wife in cold blood. And it's like, well, what did you do? Most men that have a masked gunman that comes in the house, usually puts themselves in the way of their wife or gets injured somehow by attacking the assailant. And, it was just, I guess, just weird. In my opinion, how it was, and so we're going to get into that. We're going to take about probably an hour and do that. And then we're going to get into another topic of conversation as it relates with Nancy Guthrie. But we are only going to do a surface level discussion of it because today at 10, we are going to be 9:30, 10, somewhere probably closer to 10 because we should be wrapped up here by 8. And then it's going to be about 2.5 hours after that. So about 10:15, somewhere around there, we're going to be diving into the backdoor conversation, the entry point of the assailant. I think the entry point of the assailant's important. I'm not bought in to they came in the back door. I know that's the statement that we're hearing from some of the professionals, and we're going to go over the theory. Even though I don't believe the theory that they came in the back door, it doesn't mean that because I believe it makes it true. So we have to look at what the professionals are saying, not what Bullhorn Betty is saying. So we're going to be going over some of the talking points related to the entry of these assailants. We're going to say assailants until it's changed. It appears that it was multiple people that were involved in this situation, even though we only observed one person during the day on the 11th, not multiple people discussing the case. We had one person walking the road. We had one person that we observed on the camera. We didn't observe anybody else. Savannah Guthrie is speaking about a lone person, not multiple people. So we do have, information that supports both a singular person and multiple people acting in, concert with one another and in a concerted conspiracy. This is what is now starting to develop and what many people are assuming happened. Now, I don't know if that's because, people have sources with law enforcement and they're telling them, look, like there's multiple people here. They just never made it public. And so everybody's just all of a sudden started, leaning in. And I'm also hearing a bunch of news organizations are heading back out to the Arizona area. So it's making me wonder, is there something behind the scenes that everybody is hearing about that I'm not hearing about, that's saying, hey, maybe we have some movement in this case. I was very concerned. I saw Brian Enton go back out there and I was thinking, okay, this is good. I figured maybe he had a lead on something, and he's focusing on the back of Miss Guthrie's house. So it seems like a lot of the professionals are really starting to hone in on the back of that home as possibly an entry point from the assailant. So we are going to focus on the back as well. I'm not there yet. Me in my mind and how I look at this, it might, and I realize detectives have a lot more experience than the old vets, so I anticipate being wrong, but until it is wrong, I'm going to stick with my theory until I have something that gets me off my theory. Okay. And I think that the entry point, we saw the assailant on the front of the house. It seems like the easiest way to subdue this person would be those sliding glass doors, especially if they are ajar. Now, if they're not ajar and they were already locked, I can understand why they would not want to, ruffle with those or mess with those sliding glass doors. But if you could clearly see that the sliding glass doors were ajar or open, that would be my way into the house. I would never, ever, ever climb a fence and go through the back door, giving the person even more time to call law enforcement. I want to get in there. I want to subdue them as quickly as possible. I want to make sure that there's no possibility of them being able to reach for that phone or get help coming to that house. So that's just where I'm at with all of this. Good morning, Sonia. It's nice to see you. Danielle, Claudia, good morning. Robin, Texas woman. It's nice to see you. Come on in. Come on in. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. So we have some stuff that we are going to be talking about. What's your thoughts on Savannah saying her mom on pajamas and no Ellie have said what she had on? I think she was in pajamas, Now, was it a nightgown, pajamas? I think those things are interchangeable. I call pajamas. I might be wearing a nightgown. I might be wearing pajamas. I call anything that I sleep in at night pajamas. Even if it's boxers and a t-shirt, they're my pajamas. So I think that we're, when people are starting to split hairs on how they would speak, you got to remember a lot of people speak differently. Like many people say car. I say car a lot, and I say vehicle a lot. People always say, who says vehicle? Well, I say vehicle. You guys watch me say vehicle freaking 1,000 times a day, as opposed to a car. So it's really about the vocabulary of the person speaking. And I don't think we can be splitting hairs over nightgown and, pajamas, because it really does. It depends on who's speaking and who's stating those things. I think everything that you sleep in is a pajama. Okay. That's just kind of how my brain cells work. I don't know how everybody else's works. Maybe somebody that's more of an engineer mind might say, nope, pajamas are pajamas and nightgown's a nightgown, and it's semantics. Exactly. That's where it comes down to. So the bottom line is she was in whatever she went to bed in. That's the way I'm looking at it. So whether it was a nightgown, whether it was like, a cute little shorts and top, most of the elderly people like the nightgowns because their bodies and backs and bones hurt. They can't really get in. It's very difficult for them to step into shorts and pants and stuff like that. And when you're trying to get into bed, to be honest with you, as you start getting older, this is kind of where I'm glad she's wearing, they said she was in pajamas, but I know a lot of elderly or older, women, and many of them they don't sleep in anything. I'm saying that nothing. It's because, health wise, doctors are telling them, let things breathe a little bit. And not only that, but as you get older, your stuff, even the loose fitting stuff starts when you start tossing and turning because your body starts breaking down. So you have a lot more body aches. So you're not usually stationary in one position all night. And so wearing like a pajama shirt because you're older, it starts getting caught around your neck and waking you up all night long, and you're having to adjust your shirt that's getting caught and stuff like that. So there's a lot of elderly women that are older women that I know that don't wear anything to bed. I don't know if you don't have to say in my audience that you're the same way or anything. You don't have to provide us that type of information. I'm just telling you what I've personally learned. I wear pajamas. I sweat at night. I've been having nightmares since the full unalive. Yeah. So there was no slider glass doors. No, there's sliding glass doors. She has sliding glass doors in her bedroom, and we actually have. I can show them to you real quick. Hold on. Yeah, it's on the sliding glass doors are on the front of the house. There's 2 sets, and it's in a cove. It's like she has a patio that comes outside, so she has sliding glass doors. Where you see, in the footage of the Today Show where she's showing you to make the bed, in front of her is the bed's against the wall. In front of that wall, where the light's coming in, that's a sliding glass door providing light into that room. So there are 2 sets of, and only 2 sets of sliding glass doors in this home. And one's in the living room area, and that goes out to the same patio that her master bedroom goes out to. So there is that. I hate pants when I sleep. I get hot. Yeah. So there's people, but I just know people, especially people that are, a little heavier and stuff like that. I have a very good friend that travels with me when we do Trump events and stuff like that. And, if we were in a hotel room, she'll tell me, I'm sorry, but I sleep nude. And I'm like, it's okay. Whatever, whatever, whatever. And so that's just how it is. However, if we're sleeping out in the field, she doesn't do that, obviously. She grins and bears it because there's sometimes we have to sleep, where we have to sleep in order to get in, to get in where we need to get in. So, but anyways, my grandparents were married 65 years this June. I got to figure out what kind of party were you doing? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's interesting. 65 years. That's a lifetime. Wow, it's a lifetime. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into this crying pastor. So this is a very interesting case. This is a pastor that has been, I don't even know, leading a double life. I mean, it seems like he doesn't practice what he preaches, literally. It seemed like have you ever met? Of course, yeah. Yes, I have. I was actually at Mar-Lago. I was invited to Mar-Lago to an event. So I was at Mar-Lago at an event. You can't get into Mar-Lago. So we were able to get in there. It was a great time. I've been to a lot of different events. I've never taken my picture with him, but I've shaken his hand. I just didn't get the picture quite well. So I still am hopeful for the picture, and I know that at some point I'm going to be getting a signature. I have a shirt that I've got just about everybody's signature on, but his. So I'm waiting to get that. That's going to go. I don't know. I'm probably going to put that in a shadow box or something like that. But there's a lot of events, and we need to be doing our part, like the organization. We need to be doing our part in getting stuff out there. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go to Kentucky, and that kind of fell through because my commissioner died. And so I'm still kind of dealing with all of that. And I still need to get out to Kentucky because time's just getting away from us. So anyways, getting back on this, let's get back to the pastor. The pastor, we're just kind of learning about this case. This is Caleb. And again, tried to lie about murdering his wife. I mean, I don't understand how pastors, people that get up and preach about God every day and about the, about the 10 Commandments and what it is to be, a Christian. And then to turn around, and I know people are going to say, especially those of Christian faith are going to be like, we're sinners, we are of flesh. And it's like, yeah, we are all of flesh. But what, of all things, most people know that God will never allow something like this to happen without some type of real world justice. And to think that he thought he could lie and get away with it, it's a little crazy for me. I'm a Christian person. I don't believe in the picture of the porch, guys. There's stuff on the ground next to the mat. Could be blood. Did Nancy cut herself when going out? No, I don't think so. I remember looking at that when the porch guy, let's look at that again, because I remember identifying let's get through this and then we'll go back to, let me just do this real quick. No, I don't think that's right. Because I looked at that ground really good when we had this, the images of the porch guy. And I saw no blood. See, there's no blood. You don't see any blood dripped around here. This is where the blood is. Right where he's standing is where all the drops of blood would be. And there's no drops of blood under his feet. Let me see if I can get this, bigger for you guys. Hold on. I think I might have to go in just a little bit before I can make it bigger. So I think that's really where you're looking. That's what I love about this OBS. Look at that. We can just blow this stuff right on up and just really analyze it and look at it. See, there's no blood around this area here. See, you would kind of expect blood to be like right here, in this area. This is where all the blood is. And I'm not seeing any blood There's another brighter photo. Yeah, and I get that, but the blood is so obvious, especially that splatter pattern, that I can't imagine this. I mean, let me see that blood pattern. Let me go over here so I can pull it in a different way. Hold on. Blood spatter outside of Nancy. Blood outside. Let's just, because I want you to see it for yourself outside Nancy's home. And then you'll be able, well, I think once we look at this, I think we'll be able to, let's get a further, there's one right there. So let's go ahead and get this one pulled out. Give me a second. We'll get this done for you real quick. It's going to take just a second. Now I think I do want, now we'll put this here for now, and then we'll move it over later. Okay. Okay, I think we got it. Now let me just pull it in over on here. Okay, let's pull the new film in. Give me just a second, guys. I'm pulling the new film in. Pulling the new film in now. There we go. All right, so let's look at this. Oops. Okay, there we go. So I think we need to go over here. So we're looking at this the way he is. So over in, let me move myself. I'm not even over it. So this stuff over here, it's not going to let me go in front of it. Let me put them behind me. Hold on a second. Let me put this behind me. Find my green screen. There we go. Actually, I'm going to have to turn off the chat real quick. Hold on. Let me turn off the chat box. There we go. All right. So I think, as you can see, the blood over here in this, I think the blood over here, right here, in these areas right here, right there, would be seen right where he's standing. We see, I mean, these are pretty bright. I mean, these are pretty significant blood spots. You can see them from a distance. This picture is so small, you can see those blood spots very, very clearly in this photo. So my point is I just believe that if we saw the blood spots, we would see them right here. Right where he's standing is where one of the largest blood splatters is. Because here's the mat, and then you go over, here's the corner right here of the half corner right here, and here is the square that has all of that blood splattered on it. And you see no blood splattered on this square right here. So hopefully, I mean, I'm not trying to change your mind or anything. Don't misunderstand what I'm trying to do here. I just wanted to make sure you had a clear understanding of where the blood it would be. And so I disagree in part because of that. You see, I think that you would absolutely be able to see the blood, because you could see the blood from that small photo that we had just put up here. You could definitely see the blood from that. So I think that if we can see the blood from that, bring this on down. Okay. I think if you could see the blood, but right here is where the bulk of the blood is, the big blood splatter spot, and you're not seeing any of that. And you saw how small that image was that we put above my head, and you could see the blood spatter pretty good. So just I wanted to make sure that you could see it. I wanted to make sure you could see it. And we're going to give you 5 cards, even though that was a question. We're out of our card time because I want cards. We have all these cards and I want them to be used. So let me go ahead and pull you 5 cards out. And we're going to take you from the encouragement. We're going to take you from the encouragement deck. And it says, yours, my love. Yours, my love. Let me see. Let's see. Hopefully I answered your question, Nanny, but I don't think that was out there at the time. I think it would have been noticeable, but you can send me that brighter image and I'll look through it. You deserve hugs and happiness. Yes, you do, Nanny. You deserve happiness. You are straight up magic. I love these. You did something amazing and I noticed. Hey, the little fighter, soon things will be brighter. Ooh, I like that. And I'm so happy you exist. Oh, I love those. Those are the Bloom encouragement cards, and they are so nice. So thank you for participating. We appreciate you, Nanny. Thank you. Hopefully we've helped clarify. So, listen, it's all about clarifying, right? So I don't know things until I look into things. You don't know things until you look at things, and then we just kind of throw everything up here and see if it's possible. And in this one, I remember looking at that because I wanted to find out, was he here to clean up? You know, and one of my thoughts was originally early on, because we were looking at Tommaso, and people thought that Tommaso was involved in this, and so I was looking at this as this person being the cleaner, you know, versus the assailant. So I had really looked at a lot of these videos to see at what point this blood was introduced, and the blood was introduced after this moment. So we did determine that kind of early on. So I wanted to clarify that with you. So let's get to Caleb. This is a newer case for us. We haven't really covered this on our channel, but this is going to be coming up soon for scrutiny. I mean, we've got a trial that's going to be coming up. The details of this case seemed very obvious, and we are going to get back on Nancy Guthrie at our 10 o'clock show today, and we're going to be, our discussion, we've already got it pulled up here, are going to be basically related to the back door and the exit, whether or not it was an exit. And we've got our 2 faves. We've got, well, this right here is News Nation and Ashley Banfield. We might actually be bringing in some Nancy Grace commentary as well. So we will see how that all works out. So if you guys would like that to be a part of that, I do not have it set up yet. We will have it set up before we leave today. And we'll do that at the end of the show, set it all up so you guys can all go over there and, you know, get notified for that. But we're not prepared for that just yet. So here's an update of this case. If you guys have not heard of this, this is a wild case too. And not one that so defies logic, but I do think that this shows you that people that you love and that respect you the most are the ones that can hurt you the easiest and take your life away from you. You have this trust that you believe this person will take care of you, honor you, respect you, and protect you. And their hands are the ones that took you out. So this is one of those cases. And why are we looking at this case? Because I don't think we need to forget about the statistics on why we believe and are looking at somebody a lot closer in the Nancy Guthrie case. And I think it's important. I think it's relevant. And I want to make sure that people understand, quit beating up people because they have different opinions. Listen, I don't believe that Tommaso had anything to do with it, but I'm damn sure not accusing my audience or being nasty to my audience because they think it, because in reality, this is the statistics, right? And he is the last person up until the masked gunman to have seen Nancy. So the leap was already there. You know, it's not the public's fault for taking that leap. Just saying. And these are the reasons why. And this case is one of those reasons.
Step forward.
What evidence?
What's that?
Did a seemingly perfect dad and husband really kill his wife as their children slept nearby?
Of course. I mean, think about it. The details of this particular case, let's talk about it. a masked gunman came into their home, right? Nancy Guthrie, what happened there? A masked gunman came into their home. The difference is we saw the masked gunman come into Nancy's home. We did not see the masked gunman coming into this guy's home. And why would this masked gunman, I mean, we looked at the Tepe case, right? Monique and Spencer Tepe, guess what happened there? The woman was executed and so was the husband. Now, they left the kids alone and the family pet and the kids were untouched. But the person that came in the home executed woman and husband. So why would this man have an assailant break into his home, come in and shoot his wife and leave him unharmed? Right off the bat, this already defied logic. And anybody that has been in a domestic violence situation or has presided over it, such as a law enforcement officer where they had to make determinations and listen to information and gather evidence and yada, 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 yada. Well, now you've got a situation where law enforcement is well versed in domestic violence. And, you know, when you're asking questions like, well, a masked gunman came into the house. Okay, well, why did he shoot your wife? You were unharmed? Where did you go? How did you not get harmed? And when you hear, oh, well, I ran down the hallway. Okay. To do what? To do what? Why would you run down the hallway? And then he says something like the kids are sleeping, but he never checked on the kids. It's like, huh? So very odd circumstances in this case. And I remember hearing about it. I remember, of course, just like everybody else, what is the first thing that you think of? The husband did it. That's the first thing that came to my mind when I heard this case, is the husband might have done. And, you know, we already had another breaking case, so we didn't really get involved in this case. But now we're kind of circling back. Why? Because I think that this case has at least points to be had that can be dovetailed into the Nancy Guthrie case. And I think it makes people understand why so many people truly start looking at the family immediately.
Caleb Flynn was back in court Monday, and the judge made a big decision that could lead to answering that question once and for all. We're on the case, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. In covering the story of Caleb Flynn over the last several weeks, I think about what life might have been like before the early hour mornings of February 16th. It wasn't.
And I will tell you guys this, if anybody is running across the Bullhorn Betty channel, right? And they're running across the Bullhorn Betty channel and they're looking for a possibility to off someone, you are never going to get away with it. If you are affiliated, associated, or related, or somebody knows you have an all-around beef with the suspect or the victim, you're most likely going to be called out immediately. I can tell you, abstinence, when you're angry and you hate somebody so much you want, I'm like, first of all, let me break this down to you. I'm never spending the rest of my life in jail for somebody I hate. Obviously, I don't like them. They're not worth my time. Okay? If you hate someone, why would you be willing to give your life for that person? I'm only giving my life for somebody I love, that I love so much that I'm willing to lay down my life for them. You know, I'm not willing to lay down my life for somebody I can't stand, okay? For example, now let me preface this. If somebody is in dire straits and I'm trying to save them, like I see a car accident or something, I'm a normal human being. I don't hate somebody that much that I'm going to see them, you know, need medical attention and walk right by. Okay, so let's be very clear. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm not executing somebody because I hate them. In order for me to spend the rest of my life in jail, they would have to hurt my family so bad, or somebody that I love so bad, and justice not be had, and justice needed to be had, that I wanted justice so bad that I was willing to put my own life on the line for that justice. Okay. that takes a lot of, that's an act of love, okay? It's not an act of hate. So I'm not willing. See, so many people are behind jail and on death row over somebody they hate. That's a waste of your life. That's a waste of your life. I would never give my life up for somebody that I hate. So it's, if you hate somebody, if you dislike somebody, if you have an all over beef with somebody and you are thinking, oh, let's just take them out, you will never be successful. No matter how much planning, no matter how much you do, you will be a prime target no matter what. The only time you have a chance of ever getting away with a crime like this typically is if you have no earthly knowledge of the person. There's no connection to that person. Those are the hardest cases to solve. Those are by far the most difficult cases to solve. You and an ex, you and an ex-friend, you and an ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, ex-family member, family, right? You are a prime suspect immediately. Boom, the person's dead, you're Yahtzee, okay? So the idea that you're going to get away with it if you know somebody is low on the totem pole. So what I'm trying to say is, why do it? You're not going to be clever enough to get away with it. That's it. You'll never be clever enough. The only time you'll be successful is if you don't know the person. And typically people don't go around killing people they don't know. So you're going to jail. This guy, he should have known better. But typically what happens if they didn't plan it, this in the middle of the night sounds like there was a plan. Unless he came home in the middle of the night and they got in a fight because he was having an affair. I mean, we don't know what the situation was, but this happening in the middle of the night, one of two things happened. And it was that he planned it and waited until she fell asleep and then executed her in cold blood in her most vulnerable position, or they got in a fight and in the commission of that altercation, he ended up killing her. Those are the two outcomes that I see as the most probable path forward. Which is it? He's maintaining that he's innocent. He didn't do this. Some masked gunman stormed his home, executed his wife, and ran out the door.
Not that long ago, where the Flynn family, at least on the outside, it seemed like they were living the kind of life that most people want, that most people dream of. But now this is the reality of who Caleb Flynn is because of what he allegedly did. This is video of him back in court today in Ohio. And in his case, the judge made some big decisions, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. Now, here are the basics of this case. And it's getting more and more attention each time Caleb Flynn goes to court, because it's a story that is just so difficult to comprehend. And frankly, it is just so heartbreaking. Caleb.
No, I disagree. This is not difficult to comprehend. This is happening all over this country. Why? Because we are not doing enough for domestic violence. We're not doing enough for violence in totality. And we're not understanding that we are animals. Everybody keeps wondering why I always talk about dogs and other animals. It's because we're animals. Okay, we're at the top of the food chain. Okay, I don't know if you noticed, but a bear and a lion are in the same category as us humans. Okay, I don't know if you know that or not. I'm not literally smarter than a fifth grader, but that I do know. We have hair, we give live birth. You want me to keep going on? We are animals, okay? And sometimes we act like it. And this right here is Savage. She was beautiful. Their family was beautiful. Their family was gorgeous, and these children are now orphaned. All for what? This man could have gotten a divorce. And let me tell you something. They know what they're doing. They know what they are doing. And you know how I know that? Is, sometimes you think that they're are they so delusional or are they so scared that this is what they think they have to do in order, not to be hurt or something. Even coming from guys, you never know what's going on behind those closed doors, and I'm not going to act like I do. But you keep wondering. But there was a lady that was on here, and her husband was like a podcaster. I can't remember their names, and he did like the paranormal and ghost stories. And she had a choice to divorce him or to try to hire a hitman to execute him. And there was even statements that she made to the effect of, am I a horrible person for not wanting him to exist, or something like that? Like, I could get a divorce, but I just don't want him to exist. I can't remember what the statement was, but it was something on the lines of that, where she had contemplated the divorce, but ultimately decided she wanted to take this person out of this world. And that, to me, is disgusting. Like, why? I don't want anybody dead. I like just desserts. I believe in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So you execute somebody. Yeah, I think you need to give your life for that. But again, those are just my opinions. But I don't want to see human beings hurting themselves. That's why I think that, DP is a good deterrent. Is people know that if you take a life, you're giving your life. And I want that to be across the board, because if people know, maybe their mentality will change. Like, I don't hate you, or I don't love you enough to give my life up for you, get bit, like, I'd rather people telling people to get bit than going poo-poo, and going and spend the rest of your life in jail over somebody that you hate. But this guy right here, he's smiling with his wife. He's laying down with his wife. Meanwhile, at night, he's sitting there thinking about how to get this woman out of his life. Like, what the flip is going on with people? And why no divorce? Because of greed. Remember, you can't serve God and serve money. Remember that. You can't serve God and you can't serve money.
And Ashley Flynn, they were raising their two young girls in their town, Tip City, Ohio, which is north of Dayton. And this is a couple that had been active in their church. Ashley had been a teacher at the local school. She's also a middle school volleyball coach. You have Caleb, who's working for a flooring company, and he was also a worship leader, and he played in the church band. But the reality of that.
But you have to remember too, Claudia, is that, back in the day, there wasn't as much awareness, or I shouldn't even say there wasn't much awareness. It was just a common practice. Men were commonly known to beat their wives, period. Okay? They're the head of the house. They had heavy hands, and that was acceptable. Okay? This is where our country, in my estimation, is so off base, because they want to go and retroactively punish people, like like the whole not to get into like a racist argument or anything like that, but like even the slavery stuff. It's like, none of us have ever owned slaves, that was, but they forget to remind everybody that was common back then. That was acceptable. That was the culture back then. The culture has changed. What is acceptable has changed. There were a lot of people that owned slaves, not just white man. If you look at the history of the world, everybody has been enslaved a time or two in our history. And while it's never good, I feel like DV is part of still a slavery of sorts, if you will, right? Because in domestic violence situations, they treat you more as property than a human being. And that's what makes the abuse easy or palatable for that person that abuses you. So, there's just ways you can view domestic violence and abuse inside the home. But at the end of the day, this man made this woman, of course, natural, every relationship has fights and arguments and disagreements, some that are heated, some that, are explosive, some that are just nonchalant, just like F you, I can't believe you made this decision. And it's like, well, it is what it is, and everybody just has to deal with it type of arguments. Those type of arguments happen as well. Not every argument people have is like, DEFCON 1, where it's just ready to ignite a civil war. Okay. Normal families, they have disagreements all the time. It's normal. It's healthy. It's just how those disagreements escalate. Sometimes they escalate in healthy debate and arguments and raising of voices. I mean, everybody acts like raising voices is not healthy. I believe sometimes raising voices is healthy. What do we do when we protest? We raise our voice. Okay, we're not quiet as a mouse when we're out there. So I use those things, but I don't think it should ever be violent. I don't think it should ever get to throwing stuff. I think even throwing stuff is violent. I used to throw things. So I'm speaking, when I was in my 20s and I didn't know how to handle things, you go through life and you learn how to deal with stuff. But when I was younger, oh my gosh, I threw shit. I threw shit against the wall. Okay. When I got pissed off, I'd throw something, whether somebody was there or not, I'd throw something. Right. Still, that's, to me, this day and age, who I am today, I still think that that's an act of violence. So I don't do that anymore, right? You learn, you grow up, you do stuff. But when you're at this level of adulthood where you have children, there's no excuses for ever putting your hands on a significant other. There is now the only people, in my opinion, that should have an open palm is when children act up, right? And when children act up, I believe, corporal discipline is only good for certain rearing ages. I think that there's children that can be entirely too young and children that can be entirely too old for corporal punishment. And I think at this day and age, our older kids have a lot more stuff that can be taken away. TVs, computers, good God, their cell phone, right? The cell phone is the biggest thing. I think you can really punish your child more than any type of spanking they can get by taking their damn cell phone, okay? Their life is theoretically over. Oh my God. Mom, right? You can't take my cell phone. Well, you shouldn't have done what you did. Next time, think about it, right? So just be careful and make sure when you take the cell phones, fortunately this day and age, make sure all your firearms and knives are put away and locked away. I'm sorry, but this day and age, we have to say that because kids are just crazy. I don't know what they're breeding. So let's get back on to this case of this man that decided to execute his wife in cold blood while his children slept just feet away. Now the question is, what happens to the children in a situation like that? And what about the estate? Is the estate going to be, sucked up with the legal expenses of this yahoo that, executed their mother? Or are they going to try to preserve some of that estate for the children? How does this stuff start working out, and do we have a GoFundMe for this family? We should. I hope there
That
is.
life, it's no more. It's been shattered. And less than 2 months after Ashley's body was found, shot to death inside the Flynn home with Caleb hyperventilating, claiming that an intruder did it. We could find out whether he is the one who actually pulled the trigger, as police have alleged. Now, this is video of Caleb Flynn in court Monday for this pretrial hearing. He has been in jail since his arrest on February 19th, which was 3 days after Ashley was killed. At today's hearing, the judge set a date for Caleb's trial. And as it stands right now, that trial is coming up fast. Now, before we get into the courtroom and some of the drama that played out there today, let's get caught up to speed on what we're learning about the case against Caleb Flynn.
I will tell you this, before we get into this aspect of the video, related to the court, the fact that he was arrested on February 19th, 3 days after this happened. That's typical. That's typical of what we've seen. If you look at Madeline Soto and her case, you will find out that she also was about 96 hours, and her assailant, Stephen Stearns, was arrested for that case. Now, that case happened February 26, 2024. That was the same date that we learned about Sebastian Rogers. Both of them went to viral status on the case. One was here in Florida. One was in Tennessee. Florida knows how to do law here. So we were able to close our case or get the perpetrator behind bars very quickly. The same exact type of situation and almost the same exact details happened to Sebastian Rogers in the same way on the same day, and his case is still open because you got the knuckleheads in Sumner County that don't know how to do policing. And I'm sick and tired of hurting feelings and people worrying about me hurting feelings. I don't care about people's feelings. I don't care about law enforcement's feelings. I don't care if people don't like the statements coming out of my mouth. I don't care. At the end of the day, the only thing I care about is results in these cases. And people think that it's a little heavy-handed. I don't care. Okay? We're all above ground right now, breathing air. We all can have our opinions. We all can get angry at Bullhorn Betty. We all have our mouths to use. When it comes to our victims, we don't know where they are. We know that they're most likely dead. So we know they don't have feelings. They don't get feelings anymore. So that's why it's not that I'm trying to be rude to the people out there and say, I don't care about your feelings. It's because in comparison to our victims, I don't care about your feelings. At least you've got them, right? It's a positive thing, not a negative thing. And because most of our victims, they don't have them anymore. So we're glad that you have your feelings and we're glad you have your opinions. I don't really care about them when it comes to my cases. I don't. I care about action. I care about transparency and getting these things closed as quickly as possible and putting the bad guy behind bars. It's not to be rude to you. Of course, I care about you as an individual. It's just in comparison to your feelings about somebody that doesn't have feelings anymore. That's the part I don't care about, right? You should be thankful you've got your feelings. So, again, it sounds like even Ohio knows how to do these things. So it really is a Tennessee culture. There's a lot less problem solving and case closing in Tennessee than any other case. If they close easy cases, I give them that. They close easy cases. They find people that are truly lost. It's the ones that have no bodies. It's the ones where the families were able to hide the bodies really well. That these people in like Sumner County, they can't see the forest for the trees, or they don't care. Or they're not smart enough to figure out how to work around the law. You know, either way, the way I think Tennessee needs to work, they need to start hiring some investigators from outside of the Tennessee area that was not trained or educated by Tennessee. Tennessee sucks. And Tennessee at some point is going to have to acknowledge that they have probably the worst training program for law enforcement in the history of the United States. And they need to do something about it because it's an embarrassment. Tennessee is an embarrassment to the United States. When you've got the state of California, which I have such distaste in my mouth for California, when you have California outperforming Tennessee, you got a problem. Okay? And yes, California has no problem taking a no-body case to court. Tennessee, on the other hand, they think their residents are too stupid to understand. That's what they say to everybody in the state of Tennessee. You're too dumb. If my politicians and my DAs said that to me, I'd be pissed, right? And that's what they're saying. You know how they're saying it? Because they refuse to bring any no-body cases. Every single state across the union brings no-body cases to court except Tennessee. Everybody brings no-body cases except Tennessee. Tennessee is an embarrassment, lawful embarrassment. But we're in Ohio, so let's get back to Ohio.
Oh my God!
Miami County 911.
Oh my! Somebody broke into my home. Somebody broke into my home and shot my wife.
Are they still in there?
I don't know. Please hurry! Please hurry!
Somebody broke in my home and shot my wife. When is the last time that we actually had somebody truly break into a home and just shoot the wife? It's very rare because typically the husband pounces on whoever the assailant is. But let's back up, because I don't want to interrupt. Let's listen to the whole 911 call without judgment, kind of, sort of. All right.
What?
Oh my God!
Miami County 911.
Oh my! Somebody broke into my home. Somebody broke into my home and shot my wife.
Are they still in there?
I don't know. Please hurry! Please hurry!
What are you seeing?
My wife she's got 2 shots to her head.
Now, this was the start of the nightmare. that allegedly
2 shots to the head. I just come. I'm not laughing. I'm just laughing at the stupidity of the statement. And this is what people do all over the country and think they're going to get away with it. So you're trying to convince the whole world that somebody broke into your home and their only target was your wife. Who in the world would have a problem with your wife? Nobody. She's the nicest person in the world. Okay. So we all know that there are certain things that would cause somebody to hurt, shoot, or execute an individual. And usually those things are matters of the heart. 90% of the time, whenever you're dealing with something like this, it's typically matters of the heart. So she's either having an affair, that means that somebody did break into her house and walked in there and did shoot her twice in the head. And typically it's because she is having an affair or he is having an affair. And if it wasn't the significant other, well, it was their side piece that usually did it. So no matter how you look at it, it's somebody associated with this. So if she's not having an affair and say he's the only one having the affair and she's now the one executed, I guess we would say that it's either the husband or his side piece that did this. Because the husband is unhurt. So obviously the person that came in the house cared enough about the man not to touch him, but just wanted to execute. See how that works out? So no matter how you look at it, it's eventually going to come back around.
took place inside the Flynn home on February 16th. It was around 2:30 in the morning when Caleb calls police screaming that someone had come into their home and shot his wife, Ashley, specifically on the 911 call. He said that she was shot twice. Now, law enforcement rushed
How would he know that?
to this house on a quiet cul-de-sac in Tip City, Ohio.
Okay. I checked this right here, nothing else.
Okay.
My daughters are in the bedroom over there, they're still asleep.
Okay, have you checked on them?
The 911, yes.
So he knows the kids are asleep. Now, he says that this is where the problem falls apart because he was on the phone the entire time. The attack happened. He called law enforcement. So far, the whole time he's been on the phone with law enforcement, he's never checked on the kids. So how in the world would he have any clue that the kids are still sleeping and not hurt?
Now, no one else comes in here, period. No, every door. No one.
Okay.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey, sit. You want to sit down?
No.
Okay. Take a breath.
Is she gone?
Look at me. Look at me. Take a breath. Okay?
I can't.
Look at me. I need you to breathe, okay?
Try not to touch much. What do I do with my daughters? What do I do with my daughters?
Right now, I need you to breathe, okay? Do you have any family that you can call? Okay, where's your phone at? Okay. Do you want to call family? Hold on. Corey, do you watch him? Yep.
And I want you guys to pay attention to law enforcement. Law enforcement is not, they're letting him speak. They're consoling him. They're being professional. They're showing that they care. Even in this, they're not trying to accuse him of anything. They're taking his word for it until information starts coming back. And that's how you're supposed to handle things. You're not supposed to be ultra accusatory right when all this stuff is happening. You want to make sure that they're taken care of because you don't know what happened.
Yes, one person only.
Oh, that door's open over there. That back door's open.
So they're going in there to clear the house. She's got her gun out.
Is that lead outside? Because I can't see. Is that a closet? Okay.
Yeah.
The center console of the truck.
It is?
There are so many husbands and wives that do this. Let's go ahead and get back to this. There's so many husbands and wives that do this, and they go to jail. They go to jail. If you are a husband and wife and you hate your significant other so much you want to pew-pew them, it's time for you to get a divorce. Okay? Save yourself this. Because this will be knocking on your door if you go down a path you cannot come back from. This is a path you cannot come back from.
And you can check out multiple case files now on Law and Crime Plus. The link is in the description. In the body cam video that's been released by police, they blur what officers see when they go inside the Flynn house, but they keep the audio going and you can hear what they say. Police are just trying to gather the facts at this point, but you can also see that they do notice that the center console is open in a vehicle, and they also notice that there's a door in the garage that's open. Now, Caleb says he keeps a handgun in the glove box of his car. Still unclear right now if police have the murder weapon in this case.
So he already tried to explain that somebody came into the garage, went through the car, pilfered through the cars, knew he had a GUN in the car, and grabs that and walks inside the home and executes the wife.
Now, police, as they continue to work their way through the home.
This is, I don't remember. I know that the Tepes is Columbus, but this isn't Columbus. It's Ohio, but I don't know what county in Ohio. And it doesn't say here what county. Let me see if they have any type of hashtags down here. Just Ohio. It's in Ohio. I don't know what part. I'll look it up. I know it's not Columbus, but it's another fairly large area of Ohio.
They go into the rooms where the Flynn daughters appear to still be asleep.
Sit down on the couch, okay?
Can I call somebody?
Awake. Both of them? Yep. Is this just a room? Is this just a room? Okay.
Tip City. Tip City.
Clear.
Thank you, TLC.
Where did Corey go? What's that room? Here.
The girl's okay?
Yes. Girls are okay.
Dayton, Ohio. Just north of Dayton,
You're good.
Ohio.
Sit down.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Do I call anybody?
Hold on, honey.
So this is getting, I don't want to go through this house anymore. I want to see a little more about this. Okay.
Allegedly happened inside the house. Now, not only was Caleb this seemingly loving dad
Arizona.
and a husband, but he was also a pretty accomplished musician. And he was a contestant once on American Idol. It was season 12, talking around 2014. So he's someone who goes, he crushes an audition apparently in front of the judges, people like Simon Cowell, and he gets a golden ticket to Hollywood. Now, he didn't make it past that next stage, but he was featured on the show enough where they give him a little segment. And they asked him in this segment, he's introducing himself, talking about who he is. He's a self-proclaimed crybaby, he said. And he's also a man very much about his faith. And he's asked the question, what makes you unique? This is what he said. Quote, I absolutely love the Lord. I love my wife more than anything. She is very, very pretty. I love her. He also said that Ashley was the one who nudged him to go back for an audition, because apparently he had tried out before. It didn't work out the first time, but she said, you should go back and audition again. Now, based on everything we know about Caleb Flynn, to this point, at least to the outside world, it seemed like he was the last person who would do something like kill his wife.
It always is. And again, this is where everybody is being punished and penalized for looking at people close to Nancy Guthrie as being the possible assailant, like Tommaso or something, even though this channel didn't really get on board with, accusing family members, but to punish the public for thinking or assuming is really wrong. And the reason why is because of the statistics, these alarming statistics of it usually being the one that would never do it. And that's the point I'm trying to make is what are we dealing with Nancy Guthrie? Are we dealing with a ring of bad guys, or are we dealing with somebody close to her that put all of this in motion? Because statistics tell us somebody close to her put all of this in motion. That's what statistics state. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what happened.
Now, after about 45 minutes inside the home in the body camera video, we see Caleb make his way outside, and there's just this emotional embrace with someone who appears to be a family member or a close friend.
Come on, honey.
And as you see, people that do these terrible things can show real grief and what appears to be real emotion at the time. Is it because they're shocked that they did it themselves? Are they shocked that they were able to complete it? Or are they really putting on a show for the cops? I don't have a criminal mindset. I don't have an execution mindset. So I don't know what's in their mind when they act like this. But, if we were to see this, we would be ultra emotional thinking this, oh my gosh, this guy's wife, and he's able to execute his wife in a few minutes later, 20, 30 minutes later, is able to keep looking shocked. Her family, man. I just can't imagine.
Any of the squad you looked at yet? You think you just want to come just look at him?
The girls don't know. The girls are sleeping. Can I take... I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do either. I don't know what to do either. I'm just I'm in shock.
So she's in shock. It's hard to see his face because he's not showing his face.
Yeah, I think maybe. Do you want to sit down on the steps?
But the cops definitely are not letting him be by himself, which is protocol.
If you have a blanket, can we get him a blanket?
Yep.
Family dog. Beautiful home, too. Ruined everything. I'm sorry, but as soon as I walk up on a property like this, I want to hear what this officer has to say. I think he's going to be asking him some questions. So let's just listen to this real quick. Oh my gosh, this is the wife's mom.
What's that?
Who walked around in the back? The deputies?
Deputies.
None of us have walked around in the back?
No.
Do you not want us to?
I don't.
Let.
I was gonna wait till dogs got here. We have 2 dogs coming.
Okay.
I just had them go around and put up, I don't know, Colton might have went around some to put up the tape.
Yeah.
That would have been it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure I don't know if they knew that. I mean, Troy said they could bring a drone, but we don't even know what they were looking for. I mean,
I froze, and then I ran, and the door to the garage was wide open. And
How did he know that? He hasn't been anywhere. The person came into his house, shot his wife. He's been on the phone with freaking law enforcement until they got there. How does he know his children were asleep or the garage door was open? He's saying a lot of stuff that's getting him in trouble. That's going to turn around and bite him. How did he know this stuff?
and then
How long were you here before we got here? Like 20 seconds?
yeah, not too long.
Okay.
Because I think I seen your guys' lights.
Yeah. No cars came driving out of
No,
here?
I didn't see nothing.
I didn't see anything either. All down Hyatt.
And
I didn't see
I
anything.
came first when I came in, I started going fast, and they said,
No cars.
Yeah.
I hit my siren.
Oh, yeah.
And then I turned the siren off a ways down, so
Yeah.
I didn't scare no one.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't find it at first.
Well, the side door is what's open.
It's open still.
Yeah, it is.
Now, in the hours after Ashley was killed, police said that the working theory was that this was a burglary that was turned deadly. That was what Caleb was saying. Police came, they put drones in the air.
Burglary that turned deadly. What have we learned about Nancy Guthrie's home? What have we learned? We learned that it's very rare that we have a burglary or a robbery at night. They come in during the day for personal people or for private residents. They hit businesses at night. Businesses at night, residents during the day. If they're coming into your house at night, they want you. They come in during the day, they want your stuff. So why is this person coming in the middle of the night to execute a woman, a mother, a teacher?
They had dogs on the ground. In the hours after Ashley was killed, police said that the working theory was that this was a burglary that was turned deadly. That was what Caleb was saying. Police came, they put drones in the air, they had dogs on the ground. They found no sign, they say, of an intruder. One thing you do notice in watching the body camera video is just how police do seem to keep things very professional, even though the husband is obviously hysterical with what he is saying happened. But police, for as emotional as Caleb is, they do seem somewhat suspicious of his story.
Everything? Yeah. The back door is open. There's like a door on the side right there. It's open. So.
You guys cleared the garage and everything?
Yeah. We didn't. The truck, the center console with truck's open, and that's where he said he keeps his gun. So.
Who shot?
The wife.
In the same room with him?
Yeah. In her bed. In the bed.
He didn't hear anything?
I haven't talked to him. Corey's the one that's talked to him.
So now you're seeing, they're like, wait a minute. Is the wife is shot in the same bed with him? You see where I'm going with this? Yet he's not injured? Why? Even if she was shot in the bed, there would be some injuries on her husband. How did he shoot without making noise? They didn't. They didn't. This is a split floor plan. The children are on the other side of the house. Children by far sleep very, very hard when they fall asleep for some reason.
Now here's body camera video of an officer talking to an EMT about what he saw when he arrived on scene.
I know you're not certified. Tell me this. How long do you think you've been going for? I mean, it's probably
not long.
Okay. We're just trying to figure out why in the hell, where was he at? Because we got here about a burglary call.
Yeah, I'm guessing, but not hours.
Okay.
But they'll be able to get her body temperature.
Okay.
And they will be able to tell you a time.
Okay.
It hasn't been 5 hours.
No. Okay.
Her color
recently,
her color was still good.
Okay.
But not cold. But
okay.
It was
She wasn't cold to the touch.
matter at the exit wound.
Yeah, I seen I knew she was gone. But
I don't have to get a name and date of birth if you come by the station later.
Yeah, we'll get this.
Or we can hang out too.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah,
we just hang out.
We're gonna be pretty much hanging out here too until detectives get here.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Police definitely seem to have questions, but they say since Caleb is so hysterical that they're waiting for him to calm down and for detectives to arrive. Now, here is the friend who is comforting Caleb with a blanket, asking questions to the police.
So it just happened that he just called
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. I would say probably 40 minutes ago now.
So... with the girls you're saying laying down?
Police.
Oops.
We don't have timestamps on this body cam video, so we don't know just how many hours after police arrived at Caleb's house where this is happening.
I'm sorry to meet you under these circumstances, sir. So again, you can call me Will. Now, what was your first name, sir?
Caleb.
Caleb. All right.
Anything for me or my parents coming in from out of town, like my phone and everything. I'm gonna try to get everything processed with that we would need, and we'll see what we can do about as far as like getting it back to you as soon as possible. Yeah. But unfortunately, in the situation, it's kind of standard for us to collect everything. Okay. I'm gonna step out since you're doing your thing with him. If you need anything, just
okay.
All right.
Pretty simple process. So, I'm sure Detective Morgan. Yeah, I got.
Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Let me get back to where we are here. Sorry about that. Sorry. So what I think is interesting is this typically is what you're seeing happening. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we don't know what happens behind the scenes. Now, granted, this is in Ohio. They do things just slightly different than in Arizona. But this is what typically the family most likely went through when their mother was abducted. So just keep that in mind.
Like my phone and everything. I'm going to try to get everything processed with that we would need to you as soon as possible. Yeah. But unfortunately, in the situation, it's kind of standard for us to, collect everything. Okay. I'm going to step out since you're doing your thing with him. If you need anything, just
okay.
All right.
Pretty simple process. So, I'm sure Detective Morgan. Yeah, I got one. Thank you. Kind of told you. So for touch DNA, if there's stuff left at the residence, this would eliminate you. Like if the crime lab, they see it and they're like, okay, no, this matches the homeowner. So we need, or it doesn't. So now we have this other profile. We got to try to find out who that is. Okay. So with these, it's real simple. It's sterile, new packaging. So if you just open your mouth and then I just put it in and I swirl it around on your cheek a couple times.
Yep.
Now, we don't have interrogation video of Caleb. It seems like that part of this case, even though they've released the body camera video, the parts that have been redacted are truly the specifics that could make or break a trial. We do know based off court records that the 911 call and the body cam video, you seem to understand what his side of the story is. But what's a big question still at this point, what was the evidence that specifically prompted police to say that Caleb Flynn is the one who allegedly killed his wife? Now, we don't know if there's an alleged motive either. Police have not listed that publicly yet.
I don't know much about the situation other than sounds like a home invasion and went bad or something like that. So, all right, let me check with the detectives real quick if they need. I don't know if they would actually need your boxers. If they do, then I'll ask, but.
Now, here's the moment that Caleb is put under arrest.
All right, Caleb, I need you to stand up for me, bud. We're going to place under arrest. All right.
Step forward.
You want evidence? What's that?
Turn around for me, sir.
We're not going to discuss that here. Okay. There's
Put your hands together for me, like.
Did Patrick call you? What's that? Did Patrick call you? Now, I didn't know that he was calling me. So. His lawyer's supposed to be calling him right now. Okay. Yeah. We'll get in touch with him. I'm being cordial and being cooperative. So I'm not being. You want to give him a hug real quick and go ahead and do that? He's strong. I'm sure it'll come up. There's absolutely no evidence. We know how much you love that woman. You're going to be okay. He's strong. You're Sandy. He's strong. You're okay. This will work out.
So that is the ultimate reality. That is the ultimate reality of trying to injure somebody that you love. You know, at the end of the day, we've got a lot of cases that are going on, including Nancy Guthrie out in Pima County, Arizona, where weird things have happened. You know, we can't explain how a woman was ripped out of her home, why she was ripped out of her home, where she is, or who did this. But based on our experience, based on statistics, based on history, it tells us that she was targeted. She was targeted by someone that was known to her, most likely. And that's kind of scary for a lot of us. Now, folks, we are going to be doing another live stream here in just a few. Let me go through here. Give me just a second. Here we go. Major new details. Backdoor. We're going to call it backdoor. And what it means. Nancy Guthrie. Let me change my thumbnail real quick here, and then we'll get this, guys. I hope you guys all come by so we can go over this this case. This case is going to be, this aspect of the case is going to be very interesting. I'm looking for your perspectives in it. We're going to be doing it at 10 a.m. this morning. Actually, let's do 10:30. 10:30 will give us a little time to go get wake up and stuff like that. It's in about 3 hours. Nah, I think we'll do 10. We'll do 10. I think if we wait until 10:30, we'll do 10. We'll do 10. Okay, give me just a second. Don't. It is official. It is official. Okay, let me go over to my channel and I'll get you guys the link here. Thank you guys for coming out and listening to the case of Caleb Flynn and Ashley Flynn. Again, it's a little different than the elements in the Nancy Guthrie case. One, it's an active case. I think it embodied why so many people look at the family. And the reason why I thought it was important to speak about this today is because we are being shamed for actually thinking that a family member or somebody close to Nancy could be the culprit in this situation. And quite frankly, it's statistically proven that it most likely is somebody that she knew. So right there, guys, I just posted it. It's a live broadcast that we're going to do at 10 p.m. today, 10 p.m. If you guys would like to swing by and have that conversation, we might even open up the phone lines. The phone lines I've got it worked out now that it's fairly easy to open up the phone lines for the show. So we might actually be doing that just to get your insight. So I hope everybody comes over and hangs out with us at 10 a.m. this morning to go over the information related to the back doors. I hear what the professionals are saying, but I need more information than the back doors were propped open. Just because the back doors were propped open doesn't mean that the assailant came through the back doors. And I want to make sure that that's well known. We know that this lady had to be transported. If this was multiple people, why did somebody grab her by her arms or pits, and the other person grab her by her legs and carry her out of the house? Why do we see track marks? Why do we see blood? And then we see track marks, Did they lay her down there? Did they lay her down on the ground? I mean, we don't know because they processed that entryway all wrong, and they waited until it was, contaminated before they actually gave that area the time it deserved in the investigation. So we've got a lot of questions here and not a whole lot of answers. I'm not willing to beat up the family just yet until more information comes out. I think that the rest of the world is looking at the family. I think that, there's a possibility of something going on behind the scenes related to somebody that knew Nancy, but we don't have anything specific. So I think we need to be looking at all possibilities, not closing or focusing only on one or two different people, especially with the information we have, because the information we have does not point to those one or two people. It points to a broad aspect of people. So people, so we need to start opening and broadening, because I feel like if it was the path of least resistance, if it was somebody of the immediate family, then they would have already had somebody behind bars. So we're looking at something different here, I truly believe. Now, could this be a situation like Sumner County where, there's just all this corruption with the family? It seems like Savannah holds the purse strings. We don't believe Savannah's involved. She would be fighting for the truth. That's a little bit of a different dynamic than what we have in Sumner County, where we have the family that is the people we look at as the suspects and the persons of interest that have a direct connect and a relationship, a good working relationship with the sheriff that is really fending off the real true story. They know that these parents, there's no way. I've looked at this all upside down and everywhere, which way. There is no possibility that Sumner County is not looking squarely at Katie Proudfoot in this matter, yet they're not doing anything to try to build the case against her. That right there is all the corruption and action that I need. They're refusing to build the case. That's the problem. They're refusing to build the case. So if you're in Sumner County, Tennessee, and you're not willing to fire Eric Craddock as the sheriff and get new leadership in your county, then, if it comes knocking on your door, don't call me. Don't call me. Please, don't call me. I don't want to know about it, because you did it to yourself. And that's exactly what I'd say to you. I'm a very pointed, I will help when I can help, but I'm very, very pointed. And trust me, if you are a parent that refuses to get a piece of garbage out of office when it's somebody else's family, and then it becomes your family, I'll help. But trust me, you're going to know you should have took action a long time before that. I'm very, very pointed. I'm very, very direct, and I'm very direct to my families. I try to be, sweet and kind. That does, you got to be, sometimes you got to hold people's hand gingerly, and sometimes you need tough love. And I do tough love very, very well, because I have no problem telling people what I think. And I wish more people were like that. Just tell us what you think. Put everything out on the table, and let's figure out how to clean it up, right? Lying about it, hiding it, it doesn't help anybody. Being upfront, being honest, transparent, which is what our government is supposed to be, You've put it all on the table. When you start having government hiding stuff from you, you know you're just saying, right? So anyways, guys, come back at 10. Let's have a good conversation about the back doors. This is a contentious point of this case because we're still trying to figure out. We know that she was removed from the front door. That it without a doubt is true. She came out the front door. But how did they get in before they brought her out the front door? That's what we're going to discuss. So come on back at 10 o'clock. We will see you soon. And there's somebody that's very, very special that wants to say hi to all of you. Say hi. See, I'm the crime-fighting dog. My name's Delilah. I love my mommy. I'm a pain in the butt, and my baby face is gone. I now look like my mommy already told me, but I haven't realized what she's talking about yet. But I'm going to the vet to get snippy on the 24th of April. So then it's going to be another 8 weeks after that, and I'm not going to be, not 8 weeks, 7 to 10 days after that, and I'm not allowed to do anything. Mommy's going to have a ridiculous cone over my head, and if she doesn't, she's not going to let me go anywhere or jump on anything or do anything. Yeah, I love my mommy. I just love my mommy. Now it's time for me to go play. So bye. All right, guys, as you guys know, we are remembering Justice for Summer Wells today as well, because she is also another victim of the state of Tennessee and their lack of being able to solve a case where a parent has most likely killed their child. So this is the world we live in. Parents are killing kids. Kids are killing parents. And then we have the Nancy Guthrie case where everybody's mad at us for looking at all the people in and around her life. So it is what it is, but we're going to keep doing what we do because that's what we do. And we don't allow people to dictate to us how we look at a case, especially not a sheriff that should have been indicted multiple times for crimes that he has committed. I think Sheriff Chris Nanos needs to be in jail. Okay. I hope the FBI goes back and charges him with some crimes. It is very disturbing that a man can be so abusive, do such corrupted activity, and still be able to not only keep his job, but also stay out of jail when if any of us had done it, we would be sitting in jail. I am tired of the two-tier system. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or independent. You break the law, you go to jail just like the rest of us. That's the way it should be here in America, and that's the way it should be across the country. The people that make the laws shouldn't be exempt from the laws that they create, and it's time to hold everybody accountable like our laws require. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless. We'll see you at 10. Be there or be square, folks.